part, he relapsed into silence. Wherever the brown mare came from, I can certify that it was not out of double harness. Though humble and anxious to oblige, she pulled away from the pole as if it were red hot, and at critical moments had a tendency to sit down. However, we squeezed without misadventure among the donkey carts and between the groups of people, and bumped at length in safety out on to the high road. Here I thought it no harm to take Slipper's advice, and I applied the whip to the brown mare, who seemed inclined to turn round. She immediately fell into an uncertain canter that no effort of mine could frustrate. I could only hope that Miss Sally would foster conversation inside the bus and create a distraction. But, judging from my last view of the party, and of Lady Knox in particular, I thought she was not likely to be successful. Fortunately, the rain was heavy and thick, and a rising west wind gave every promise of its continuance. I had little doubt but I should catch cold, but I took it to my bosom with gratitude, as I reflected how it was drumming on the roof of the bus and blurring the windows. We had reached the foot of a hill, about a quarter of a mile from the racecourse. The Castle Knox horse addressed himself to it with dignified determination, but the mare showed a sudden and alarming tendency to jib. "Belt her, Major!" vociferated Slipper, as she hung back from the pole chain, with the collar halfway up her ewe neck. "And give it to the horse too; he'll drag her." I was in the act of belting when a squealing whinny struck upon my ear, accompanied by a light pattering gallop on the road behind us. There was an answering roar from the brown mare, a roar, as I realized with a sudden drop of the heart, of outraged maternal feeling, and in another instant a pale yellow foal sprinted up beside us with shrill whickerings of joy. Had there at this moment been a bog hole handy, I should have turned the bus into it without hesitation. As there was no accommodation of the kind, I laid the whip severely into everything I could reach, including the foal. The result was that we topped the hill at a gallop, three abreast, like a Russian troika. It was like my usual luck that this identical moment we should meet the police patrol, who saluted respectfully. "That the devil may blister Michael Maloney!" ejaculated Slipper, holding on to the rail. "Didn't I give him the foleen and halter on him to keep him? I'll hold you a pint as the wife let him go, for she being vexed about the licence. Sure, that one's a March foal, and he'll run from here to Cork." There was no sign from my inside passengers, and I held on at a round pace, the mother and child galloping absurdly, the carriage horse pulling hard, but behaving like a gentleman. I wildly revolved plans of how I would make Slipper turn the foal in at the first gate we came to; of what I should say to Lady Knox, supposing the worst happened and the foal accompanied us to her hall door; and of how I would have Flurry's blood at the earliest possible opportunity. And here the fateful sound of galloping behind us was again heard. "It's impossible," I said to myself. "She can't have twins." The galloping came nearer, and Slipper looked back. "Murder alive!" he said in a stage whisper. "Tom Sheehy's after us on the butcher's pony." "What's that to me?" I said, dragging my team aside to let him pass. "I suppose he's drunk like everyone else." Then the voice of Tom Sheehy made itself heard. "Stop thief! Stop thief!" he was bawling. "Give up my mare! How will I get me porter home?" That was the closest shave I have ever had, and nothing could have saved the position but the torrential nature of the rain and the fact that Lady Knox had on a new bonnet. I explained to her at the door of the bus that Sheehy was drunk, which was the one unassailable feature of the case, and had come after his foal, which, with the fatuity of its kind, had escaped from a field and followed us. I did not mention to Lady Knox that when Mr. Sheehy retreated apologetically, dragging the foal after him in a halter belonging to one of her own carriage horses, he had a sovereign of mine in his pocket, and during the narration I avoided Miss Sally's eye as careful as she avoided mine. The only comments on the day's events that are worthy of record were that Philippa said to me that she had not been able to understand what the curious taste in the tea had been till Sally told her it was turf smoke; and that Mrs. Cadogan said to Philippa that night that The Major was that drenched that if he had a shirt between his skin and himself he could have wrung it; and that Lady Knox said to a mutual friend that, though Major Yates had been extremely kind and obliging, he was an uncommonly bad whip. Chapter 12.